Hey guys, thanks for joining me for an episode of Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and today we're going to take a look at World Championship Russian Roulette. This is a brand new game by Tuesday Night Games. It takes roughly 20 to 30 minutes to play, and it is a 2 to 6 player competitive game, so all the players are working against each other to have one player as the overall winner at the end of the game. So in the game itself, you are leading a World Championship Russian Roulette team, and you're going to be competing against the other players going through 6 different phases simultaneously, where you're going to be loading your gun, spinning the barrel, making bets, challenging other players, pulling the trigger, and finding out if you have the mantle to make it through the round and to get some points in the process. This is going to continue until either one player is left standing or the first player to 15 points. So my opinions of this game so far is that it's very good. I really enjoyed this one. Tuesday Night Games makes some really interesting games, very different styles to their games, very party oriented. So I would definitely recommend this one if you're looking for something that's fast and fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which you could definitely expect from a game that's based on Russian roulette. But it doesn't. It's a lot of fun. It's very fast and entertaining. There's plenty of strategy in it, and you have your push your luck, bluff elements in there as well. So I definitely recommend taking a look at this one. This is one that I had a lot of fun with. You can even play this in even bigger groups. If you buy a second box, you can go all the way up to 12 players with this one, and it plays really smooth. So I definitely recommend it. And again, these are just my opinions. I'd love to hear your guys's. Let me know if you guys have played this in the comments below. If this is one that you guys have enjoyed, love to hear your guys' thoughts on this as well. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and I'll teach you guys how to play. For setup, the first thing you're going to do is place out the scoring tokens, so the 5-point bullets and the 1-point bullets. From there, then each player can choose their team that they'd like to play as. And so we have our first player playing Sammy Sausage Fingers, and he will also receive his 3 teammates to go along with his captain, versus Victor Vengeance and his 3 teammates. Each player is also going to receive their quick reference card, their bidding dice, and their 6 click cards, and their 1 bang card. Finally, you go ahead and grab the action card deck, shuffle it up, and then deal each player 1 card from the action deck. From here, we're ready to move into the game. World Champion Russian Roulette is played over an undefined number of rounds. During each round, the players are going to go through 6 different phases simultaneously, completing 1 phase before moving on to the next. The player's ultimate goal is to get to 15 points or be the last team standing. So I'm going to take you guys through each one of these 6 phases, which is the pocket, spin, bidding, challenge, trigger, and point phase. So let's go ahead and head into the game now. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first phase of the game, which is the pocket phase. So during this phase, each player is going to look at his gun deck, which is comprised of his 6 click cards and his bang card. He's going to secretly choose one of these cards to place underneath his pocket card sticking out. Now, you can choose to place a bang card under there, but by doing so, you are considered cheating, and there are penalties if you're caught. So let's go ahead and do that. Each player is going to choose a card to place underneath his. When all players have done this, we're ready to move on to the next phase. During the spin phase, each player is going to shuffle their remaining 6 cards in their hands. Now, if you feel a player hasn't shuffled well enough, you can always request that player to respin their cards. Once all players have accomplished this, then you're ready to move on to the third phase, which is the bidding phase. During the bidding phase, you're going to go ahead, each player is going to grab their bidding dice and set it from 0 to 5 secretly so that none of the other players know what they bid. Once they have, they're going to go ahead and cover up that dice with their hands. so that no players can see it. And then once all players have done so, then the players will simultaneously reveal their dice. Then we'll move into the challenge phase. During the challenge phase, if a player suspects another player of placing a bullet card in their pockets, they may flip over their own pocket reference and indicate which player they are accusing of cheating. The accused player must then flip over their pocketed gun card, revealing it to all players. Each player only gets one accusation per round, so flipping over your card is exhausting your accusation. And this is going to have two effects. So let's go ahead and say, for example, that the blue player wanted to accuse the yellow player of cheating. He would flip over his card, and then on the back of the card, it's also going to give the results. So first off, if the accused player flips over a bullet card, the accusing player is going to instantly receive 3 action cards. So if our player here revealed a bullet card, we would receive 3 action cards to our player. And the player that was cheating is also going to be shot by the judge. So he would flip over one of his teammates, and then the captain is the last one to go. So if all 3 of your teammates are dead, then your captain will be killed. But otherwise, you would start with a teammate, so he would lose a teammate and be out of the round. Now, as long as the captain was not the character killed, an eliminated player may still accuse another player during the challenge phase. So, with the other situation, if the accused player flips over a click card, then the player gets an action card. So that if we were to flip over a click card here, our player would receive an action card for being insulted, and the accusing player must replace a click card with another bullet card, and then they're going to shuffle their deck. So for making a wrong accusation, our player here would have to take out one of his click cards from his deck and receive an additional bang card. So his deck could have a total of 2 bang cards in it. Once all players have decided whether they want to make an accusation or not, once players are all done with this, then they're ready to move into the trigger phase. For a theme, if you guys want to do that, all players can place one hand on their gun deck, and the other they can make into a gun and place it against their temple. Then one player should announce the current trigger pull, followed by a countdown of 3, 2, 1, pull. On pull, all players should flip over a bullet card. If a bullet is flipped over, your current character dies. If a click, you are still alive and will continue to the next trigger pull. A player only is going to participate in as many trigger pulls as shown on his bid die. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example of this. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So each player is going to put their hand on their gun deck, and then we're going to go ahead and say trigger pull 1, 3, 2, 1, pull. At this point, our players are going to look. So our blue player had pulled a bang card. So he is going to lose one of his characters. He's going to flip over a character to the dead side, and he is done for this round. The other player had played a click card, so he is still in it, and he has bid 2 trigger pulls, so he is going to continue with his trigger pulls. So then we're going to go again, trigger pull 2, 3, 2, 1, pull. And so he has gotten another click, and now he has done the number of trigger pulls based on his bid dice. So then he is going to be out for the rest of the round. If any other players were playing and still had trigger pulls, then they would continue on with the round as well. Now again, you can play action cards, and you can only play an action card when specified. So if you have an action card that can be played during the trigger phase, you can choose to play that. The last phase in a round is the point phase. So if a player lost a character during the course of any of the other phases, then they will not receive any victory points this round. For players that did not lose a character during any of the previous phases, they will earn 1 point for each trigger pull they bid, plus 1 point for surviving. So our blue player here did die during the round, so he will not receive any victory points. But our yellow player was successful, so he did 2 trigger pulls, and he is still alive, so he will receive 3 points. Now, after you've resolved the point phase where you've given any players points that they receive, the final thing that you need to do is for any player that had a character death, there's going to be a couple things. If it's a teammate, then that player will receive 1 action card, and then he can reset his gun deck back to its starting 6 clicks and 1 bang. This is one of the only ways you can eliminate additional bang cards from your bang deck. If your captain was killed, which is the last character to be flipped over, then you are out of the remainder of the game. At that point, then the round will be over, and if the victory conditions have not been met, then you will proceed to starting a new round, where you're going to take all of your cards back into your hand and begin with the first phase again. Now that I've gone through the different phases of the game, there's a couple more things that I'd like to go into a little bit more detail on. So the first thing is Endgame Conditions. There are 3 different ways the game can end. The first is after a point phase in which a single player has 15 or more points and has more points than all other players, that player is going to be the winner. The second end condition is the moment all but one team captain is eliminated, the surviving team captain will be the winner. And the last way that the game can end is at the moment that all team captains are eliminated. Nobody wins because everyone is dead. Now with action cards, there's a number of different action cards in the deck, and there's a number of different conditions for those cards. You can only play action cards when specified on the card itself. There is no limits to the number of cards you can have, and any number of action cards can be played as long as those conditions are met. You can choose yourself if the card says any player, and cards with a skull icon can be played even if you are eliminated for that round. The last thing I want to go over are dead characters. Anytime a character dies, flip over the character tile to the dead side. Flip teammates first, and the last character to die is your captain. For each teammate's death, you get to draw 1 action card, and you can reset your gun deck to its starting 6 click and 1 bang card. This is the only way to eliminate bang cards from your gun deck. Well, I hope you guys found that video helpful. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you like what I do, if you enjoy these videos, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel, as it really does help me to continue to grow and to bring new and exciting games to you guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I do appreciate the fact you guys take the time to watch my videos and leave me feedback on them. And as always, I'd love to start a conversation about these games, so let me know what your thoughts are on this game or any game that I've covered, or games that you think that I should be covering or that you'd like to see me cover. I'm only one man, so if there's games that you guys would like to see, please leave those in the comment section below as well, or on my Facebook and Twitter accounts, and I will do my best to look into those. So until next time, das Vidania.